Hey everyone, Richard Robbins here. What I want to talk about today is how we can have a little more joy and peace in our life in difficult and uncertain times. Now, interesting how I came up with this message, because in all fairness, it wasn't my idea, it was my wife's. Because here's what happened. We are early in bed this morning enjoying our coffee. She said, "What are you going to do for your video today?" And I said, "I've got this message I've been working on called How to Control the Controllables." And she goes, "Explain it to me." So I'm trying to explain, some of the message. And she goes, "Do you really think that's a good message right now?" And I says, "Well, yeah, it's good. People get uncertainty. They want to have a little more control." And she goes, "Well, you may be right." But she goes, "Don't you think maybe people need a little more joy in their life right now, a little more happiness, maybe even a little more peacefulness?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." I said, "So how do we do that?" And she asked me a question, and she said, "Well, Rich, what was the most difficult time in our life?" And I said, "When you were diagnosed with cancer." She goes, "Exactly." And she goes, "What did we do then when we had tremendous difficulty and complete uncertainty?" And we had this little exercise that we created called Simple Pleasures. So what I want to do is I want to share that idea with you today, how it works, okay, how to execute it, and how we use it. But what I'd like to do first is I want to read you, because what we did is we went and found Sue's journal. And we pulled this page out of her journal. And this was her journal entry on July 21st, 2004, okay? It says, "Perhaps at first, the worst day of my life to find out I have an incurable cancer. The word I have feared my whole life has just been permanently embedded in my mind and now is a part of my life." It says, "What to do now when faced with a mountain?" She said, "I will not give up. I will climb over. I will find a path through. I will fight this with every ounce of energy that I have, and I will prevail. This will turn out to be the best thing in my life. I have no doubt. Fear is not an option. Fear is not an option. Trust in God to know there is a reason for everything." That's what she wrote July 21st, 2004, just after she was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So what we did after that was, obviously, we had 2 young children, we're dealing with our lives, we had our business, we had a lot of things going on, and we thought, well, how do we get some form of control? And we talked about, well, we've got to have some fun every day. So what we did was we created a list of what we call simple pleasures. And by the way, we did this with our kids as well. I wrote out my simple pleasures, she wrote out her simple pleasures, and then every day we tried to incorporate 1 or 2 simple pleasures or more into our days to bring us some joy, to bring us some peacefulness, and to try to get our mind off all of these crazy thoughts, right, that we sometimes have when we have space and we're not consumed with something we're really enjoying. So here's my wife. So I want to take you through some of her simple pleasures. So she's got 24 written down here. I'm going to take you through 10 that I think would apply to you. Number 1, she wrote down Tim's in the morning. That means a Tim Horton coffee in the morning. Now, we have 2 coffee makers in our house. But guess what she wants? She wants a Tim Hortons coffee every morning. She wants to be in bed, enjoying her coffee, not sitting doing work with her coffee. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't happen on occasion, but her simple pleasure is not. It's lying in bed, we're talking, got the dog down by our feet, and she's enjoying our coffee. We're planning our days, discussing our lives. The next one is Friends reruns. My wife loves watching Friends. She will watch them over and over and over and over and over again and laugh at the same jokes every single time. And I go back and I can still remember her taking an hour, laying on the couch and watching Friends and just killing herself laughing while she's going through this difficult period. Next one is a hot bath. She loves to have a hot bath. Next one is talking with Rich and cuddling. And that's a real compliment because I'm not a big cuddler, right? Sometimes I'm like a stiff board, but anyway, she still loves to cuddle the stiff board. It says cooking a great meal. And by the way, I love this one too. You know what I mean? She loves cooking it. I love eating it. She said popcorn and a great video. Obviously, this is back in the video days, 2004. Listening to Kenny. That means listening to Kenny Rogers. Now, unfortunately, Kenny passed last week, and that was a difficult day for my wife. But then after she said, you want to know something? I have so many great memories of Kenny. She got to meet him. She's been to over 20 concerts with, her best friends and many of her family. And she's got so many great memories. And I think you would all agree, a great life is made up of great memories. Okay, next one says, doing memorable things for others. This is so much my wife, right? So in other words, she loves to deliver the unexpected to other people. Whether it's just a message or whether it's a small gift or whatever it is. But then the next one is writing letters. My wife loves to write, short 1-2 paragraph letters. She'll leave them for me. She'll hide them in my drawer. She'll write them for the kids. She'll write them for my mom. She'll write them for her family. She'll write them for her friends. It's really quite amazing what she will do, and they're always very inspirational, and they're just thanking everybody for what they're bringing to her life. She loves to do that. And the last one I'll talk about is organizing memories. There's 24 here. I just read you 10. She loves to go through, back then, obviously, there were pictures that she'd go through and put into albums. Now we do that digitally, of course, but she just loves to go back and go through all of them and look at them and that sort of thing, and that brings joy to her life. For me, some of them are having a nap, right? Playing and practicing the guitar. That brings me a lot of joy. Journaling brings me a lot of joy. So here's what my suggestion I want to encourage you to do. Why don't you take just a page, a simple 8.5, 11 sheet. Maybe you want to do it in your computer, your iPad, your iPhone, whatever it is, and write down what are your 10 simple pleasures. Not things that cost a lot of money, not things that are really hard to do, right? But just small little things that you can start to incorporate into each day as we're dealing with difficult and uncertain times. But why don't you do this? Why don't you get your family to do it? Why don't you get your husband, wife, your life partner, your kids, or whatever it is, or maybe you do this virtually with a whole bunch of people. And then all of a sudden what you do is say, okay, every day let's report what simple pleasures are we going to incorporate into our day, and maybe have some fun with it. You know what I mean? And I think if you do that, you know what you're going to have? You're going to have more peace in your life. You're going to have more joy in your life, because I promise you, in our most difficult time, it did it for us. So anyway, I hope this was helpful to you. I hope you're all healthy. I hope you're social distancing the best you possibly can. And at the end of the day, everybody, remember, it's a beautiful life. Make it count.